Alright, yeah. You see the hot spot? You see the hot spot? I got my clippers in the bag. They're cordless, wireless. So I'm gonna cut my hair. I'm gonna cut my hair. And yeah. What you also just saw was the hand, the other part of the hand. So I got about 3 hours to. I got about 3 hours to clip them. So I already did. I already did the main part of the reaction to Terrence Howard on the Joe Rogan Experience. I already did the main part of the reaction. So hold up. But in that, I also forgot to. We're gonna use the matches. Waiting on the Zippo fluid. I got new Zippo fluid. I got a whole bottle. I got a bottle of Zippo fluid. How much is this? I need to see. Okay, so this is a 4 ounce. This is a 4 ounce bottle. Because they had a 4 ounce and they had a 12 ounce bottle. So I didn't know which one I had. So now I know this is the 4 ounce bottle that I can get from the shop right now. So this is the 4 ounce bottle. We'll see when I need to whatchamacallit. We'll see. But also, I mean, they charged and reviewed the lighter. So it's it's like they say 4 to 5 days. They say 4 to 5 days now, which means 45 business days at that. And now I'm also, mind you, I think this coming Monday or so is Memorial Day weekend. So that's a federal holiday. So that's going to add an extra day to how long you might possibly have to wait. So all in all, we'll see how long it takes for the Zippo lighter to get here. But I'm so excited for that Zippo lighter. So if you look at the thumbnail for today, you'll see I ordered the gold cigar pipe insert. And because it's like, how can I make this perfect lighter? Because I couldn't order it perfect. I couldn't just order it all together as one. The custom, if you order the custom lighter, they're gonna give you you know what I'm saying, the standard one. But I ordered that gold insert, and so I'll just be able to take that insert out, put that one in there, and then and then is I just think that joint is so hot. It's gonna have everything up there. It's gonna say Graffiti Jungel. I'm like, because now it's like I can say it, or I can still do ASMR with it. I'm going to, because as much as I do this shit, but everything, all the information is gonna be right there on the lighter. And so now when I sit here and say welcome to the graffiti, I'm gonna be holding the lighter. I'm gonna say welcome to the Graffiti Jungle. Another episode of Tangential Thoughts Chat Show. I'm your chief, Jahara, leader of the Camp Dining Spiritual Bandits. All of that is going to be on the lighter with the Project Extinction design, with me up there as well. So I'm excited for that. But it may potentially come next week. Depends on what time they, light it up and whatnot. So here is the cigar. I don't know if that's GTO or GTD. I've had something like that before. I had a GT something. Whatever that thing is, I had that before. The company, the brand. Looks like we're not the only one in the woods today. So this is the cigar. It's this GTO. I'm gonna say GTO. I don't think that's a D, the way that this looks. GTO La Cura. Now it has an MMXX Roman numerals on XX. That's a 20 mm. I don't know what that mm. Some type of millennium shit. Hey, another 325 on this bitch. And a 999. Hey, wait, what the fuck? Let me just show you this real quick. 999 on this shit. Now, that is going to be a good segue into 999 right there. That's gonna be a good segue into. So when I started it, I kind of forgot it's a torpedo shape. It's a torpedo shape. Uh, that always makes it fun, right? That makes it fun. So torpedo shape. Here's the cigar. Here's the cigar. Torpedo shape. As far as it looks short, right? But we can't always determine the smoke time based off of that because whatever it's made of is going to also determine the smoke time as well. Now it's a darker cigar, and Connecticut's are the light. They're going to be lighter shades. Now, since this is a darker one, it's more of the Maduro. There's just a darker shade. Now it could be. I'm not sure if it's in Maduro. I didn't look at the stats for it, but I'm just saying, looking at it, I generally prefer darker cigars. Now, if it's also darker, that also means it's like oilier. That's why they also burn slower. So here's a cigar. Here's the cigar that we're gonna light up. So let's cut that part off. Now, I think I possibly could cut more off looking at the wrapping of it. Looking at the wrapping of it. There, like they talk about there's a cap, but there's two dum dum lines that I see. Yeah. Okay. That line there, that line there. Now, we could cut all that off, but I don't want to cut that. Now, also, because the reason I'm saying is I could cut more off, because it felt like it was about to just like, but we'll hold it. We'll get it going. We'll get it going. Now, oh, that 999. Now, also, relating to the cards that I pulled, again, you can look on the whatchamacallit. Now, the two that I low-key forgot to mention, well, I didn't remember at the time. It was the World card, and after the World, it was Seven of Pentacles, and after the Seven of Pentacles, it was the Emperor. All right, those are the last ones. Let me go ahead and yeah, it's hot. Well, I'm not. It's not. It's not hot at all. It feels really good outside. It's not a lot of wind blowing. It's not a lot of wind blowing. But I just did that whole bike ride. I'm just really excited to show off the Project Extinction merch. Now I made better visuals showing off the tank this time. Now sometimes it's again like when I make these visuals and things like that, it's like you go ahead and get through it and run through it. Now when I go back and when I do the edit and I look back at it, I'm like, oh okay. The next time I do a video edit, I know how I kind of want to. I might need a pause right here, or I might need to do certain things. Like I did the. If you look at the behind the scenes for the original, for the first time I showed y'all this, then you know what I'm saying, I showed y'all how I kind of went through it and made it. But what else? But when I look back at the editing stuff, like sometimes when I look back at the videos, because there's certain parts, like, because I'll speed it up, slow it down. Now when you slow it down, it's those parts that I want to emphasize. I think I did a good job with cutting it because, I mean, symmetrically, look how the edge of it is there. Like it's still about to kind of close up right there. So I think as far as like the width of the top to the bottom, I think we did pretty good because you see it kind of widens out towards the middle. So I think we kind of match that end for the most part. But this time I made sure like, okay, boom, I want to emphasize the cuts on one side, the design, like, so I made sure I stood in the camera. This time I recorded from the front facing camera. That's my regular normal advice, record from the front facing camera so you can see. And I said, and so if you look at the live, you'll see how I kind of like set it up. First time having a cigar. First time having a cigar. So this also goes into like what playlist does this fall into? Well, it can fall into the Yeezy. Of course, any and all videos fall into tangential thoughts and cigar talk. Could it fall into the highlight reel? Depends if I like this shit. Depends on what I end up doing. Thank you for the vote. Thank you for the vote. Engagement, liking, comment. So, outside of that, one other thing that I related to. Oh, okay. It's a couple things I got type thing. John Maker. Oh, do you? What do you like about it? You know what I'm saying? Damn. Thank you. 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 The Project Extinction Tank. Feel me? Project Extinction Tank. Design on the other side. It's too hard, man. Too hard. And a new cigar. So you saw the 999. You saw the 999. Now 9 refers to the end of a cycle. There was that 999 right there. Right? Not a fan of torpedo shape on cigar. Fact. Well, why though? Why don't you like torpedo shapes? Because it's like why it's like because when you go to look at the cigars, it's like, well, why is it this shape? Why? Because it could just be straight cylinder. It could be a straight cylinder. Now I just think aesthetically, it just is because most are a cylinder. This then makes it stands out. It makes it stand out. Like damn, this shit say like a torpedo, shit like a rocket. Take off. It's literally like a rocket. Pew! Now 9 refers to the end of a completion, full manifestation. And then if you looked at it, we had the world card. The world is the end of a cycle, completion. As I always tell you, it takes 9 months to make a baby. It takes 9 months to make a baby. So you can think about the number 9. Anytime you add 9 to something, you get right back to that number. For instance, 9 plus 5 is 14. 14, 1 plus 4 is 5. It gives you right back to the cycle. Too fat, too much makes my hair rush. I smoke a few a day. And nice days, regular shape draw better, I think. Smoke a few a day. You know what I love about that? On a nice day, you get to smoke multiple cigars, bro. That's hot. You smoke and you gotta think about that. One thing I encourage people to do is to do more of what you love. Fill your time and your day with that. Now, if you got a chance, there was a guy, I think they say Mark Twain, smoked up to like 22 cigars in a day. It's like, God damn. But that shit is just cool as hell if you're able to do that. So just being able to say, I smoke multiple cigars a day. It's fucking awesome. So it was the world card, and the other one I forgot was the 7 of Pentacles. Now Pentacles is what you're working on. It's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and it's a 7. All 7s are reflective. On the 7th day, he looked back at everything and said it's all good. 7 is always reflective, looking back on what you're working on. And he worked hard on a couple things, but he has that one pentacle behind his back. Like, you know what? I'm for sure gonna keep working on this. I gotta keep this tough. Because he also had the 9 of Pentacles. By rocking that tank, I mean it shows your guns. I started working out. I flex, nothing. A nice way about the way you communicate. Thank you, 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 thank you. Now, now I actually have to like. So another thing, even about that, right? Because some people are insecure about what they wear, how their body looks. They talk about body morphing a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so there's this one thing, a way to boost your confidence is you feel wherever you feel like you may lack. You know what I'm saying? Take the time to look at yourself in the mirror. I think this time last year was when I got my nose pierced. And I remember the lady looked at me, she was like, "How you like it?" I was like, I couldn't answer her. I didn't. I was like, yo, I don't know. I don't know why I just did this shit. I don't know why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And I was just so amazed. But it's like if you keep looking at yourself and working on, you know what? I don't like this. You can do something about it. You can change it. That's the thing with working out, right? My workouts is different. You got to think back in the Greek and Roman days. Now, any Greek and Roman figure that you look at, they all cut up, right? Did they have gyms? No, they didn't have gyms, but they also had to go out and hunt to eat. You know what I'm saying? So my workouts is different. I I eat whatever. You see me up here. I drink energy drinks and candy and chips every day. But if you ever I'm getting to it. So as far if you ever if you do Weight Watchers, right? Weight Watchers allows you to eat whatever you want to eat, but it's like in moderation. And depending on your type of lifestyle, they say if you want to lose weight and things like that, there needs to be a calorie deficit. How much you take in needs to be less than what you expend out. Now, for me, I walk every day or I ride my bike. I do those every day. So already the day just started. Well, the day didn't just start. We're midway through the day. But I have now rode my bike 8 miles. Just because I want to go get the cigars and this and that third, I rode my bike there and back. That was 4 miles there, 4 miles here. I did 8 miles for the day. I also still had to get back up and go another 3 miles just to get back to work. You know what I'm saying? I walk to work. And so I expend a lot of energy just throughout my day. What's stopping you from smoking? I think the last time I weighed myself, I just weighed myself like 2 weeks ago. Well, not 2 weeks ago, like last week. I weighed 160. Now, thank you for the light. Thank you for the light. There was a point in time when I was working out and I wanted to just get bigger, 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 right? And I think the most I ever weighed was like 180. I wanted to put on weight. I was putting on muscle. The thing about that though is if you weigh more, it's like, because I used to run a lot too. All right, peace, 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 peace. Thank you for tapping in, tuning in, and engaging. The thing about weighing more was that slowed me down. I was still running the same mile, but I could easily cut my time down on the mile if I just cut down the weight. I didn't have to get bigger. Didn't need to get bigger. Now for me, yeah, I keep it like that. Mm. Now the other part, so my age, 5 times 6 plus 1. I used to teach math, so I still throw math problems at people. 5 times 6 plus 1. That's how old I am. Now, what I really related to, what resonated with me the most. So there's a couple things I didn't mention from Terrence Howard when he went on that podcast, right? So first of all, if you watch Terrence Howard and the way he goes about this thing, you would have thought that he's giving a presentation. And he had this stuff so laid out. He was like, yeah, if you pull up this email, so we sent you an email, and in this email you click on this link, and so you might want to go to my website, go to my book, go to this page of my book, and it's gonna tell you this. Go to this page of my book, it's gonna tell you this. Like he had this thing so laid out, and he didn't even get to talk about everything he wanted to talk about. They talked for 3 hours. He didn't get to talk about everything he wanted to talk about. His presentation was it was just thorough. Okay. Where. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna clock in today. After I clock in today, when I go on break, lighten the fuck up. So there was a couple parts that I forgot to mention. The part that I really resonated with, that this what first got me, right? He said, I feel like everything I'm doing now, I was supposed to complete in another lifetime. I didn't get the chance to do it. Or it's not that I didn't get the chance to do it, I just didn't do it. So now, in this lifetime, I have to come and do as much as I possibly can. Because I didn't get to it in the past life. And his memory, the way his stuff is set up, he said, I had solved some of this stuff by the time I was the age of 6. And he said his earliest memory was, yo, I was supposed to come here and do this. Like, I just didn't finish this work. I didn't get to do this work in the past life. So now I gotta come right now and do it. I bet you're one of those guys who are stronger than people think. That's facts. And that's facts. And if I had my old phone, I would show people. Cause I remember, do my phone? I still got like stretch marks on underneath my arms, right? And so some people relate stretch marks to being overweight or obese. But I got stretch marks on my arms when I was working out in college, and I was lifting more than I needed to be lifting. We got it on video. Cameras did exist at the time, but it's on my old phone. I don't know if I still got that old phone. So I think I'm liking this cigar. So that means it's at least a 7. We can push it to a 7.5. We can push it to a 7.5. Now, nothing's making me scream 8. Nothing's making me scream like, oh damn, I need to refer this to somebody. I can refer this. So I'm not gonna push it to an 8, but right now it's sitting at a 7.5. So we'll see how long it lasts. We'll keep it going. And so the reason I really like that was because I'm sitting here like, that's how I feel now. Right now, I feel like there's so much that I have to get done. That's why I published 7 books. Well, technically, my 8th book is a YouTube graffiti poetry book. I did the audio book for all my books. I published all 7. And now I'm still thinking about more books to publish. I'm thinking about more books to publish. What's the most weight you ever lifted? Like a thing or a person? Have you lifted a really heavy person? No, I remember. I told this story too. Um, it was this one shorty I was talking to her in college. I lifted her up, but I think the most was 235. Like I had 2 pancakes. So for those who It's right. It's the aesthetics, right? I always look at the cigar, see like what type of aesthetics. Now this also has a white ash. It's a whiter ash. I'll say whiter. I'll say it's a whiter ash. So that lets you know it's pretty decent. Now I've actually had a cigar that will come out and be gray or black. So it's not that. It's not that. It's definitely a whiter ash and it's holding up pretty well. The composure is straight, so that's good. Um, and what else? Man? What else? So those are a couple of things. He said a 220 person. Hell no. I wouldn't try to either. Like, well, see, there's a thing, right? When it comes down to weight and shit, right? A bitch can weigh 180, but the 180 can look different. So if I got a bitch and she got a fat ass and a nice body, and she just a happen to weigh da 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 da, that's different. That's different. But if it's a 220 and she look like a fucking walrus, hell no, I wouldn't even try to lift that bitch. Cause you gotta fucking look. I be thinking about going to Jamaica, and you know in Jamaica they be on the balcony with the shit. Boy, I'm trying to go to Jamaica and had a bitch on my shoulders, had a bitch on my back, had a bitch on the balcony. She gotta have a fat ass though. The aesthetics, the visuals gotta go fucking crazy. The aesthetics and the visuals have to go fucking crazy. Nah, I lifted 235 on the bench. I was bench pressing. Let me see if I can tap this shit because I don't want it to fall. There it is. Now, that's one of my biggest things right now, right? What's your life's work? What's your life's purpose? Another thing he said there were certain times and he was getting pushed and urged to do things. And then what he came to realize was that was his voice now. He said his voice now, his greater self had been talking to him since he was young at birth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I'm sitting here like, that shit, I don't know if anybody else can relate to that though, right? Can anybody else relate to like, yo, there's a voice telling me to do something. And then you just come to realize like, damn, that's my higher self. My higher self is telling me to do this. My higher self is telling me to do this. And like putting this all together, I came here to do a work. I came here to create. I came here to this and the third, right? I came to finish whatever I didn't do in my past life. Cause what sparked this shit, another thing was, I ain't flexing. You know, every time they asked Jesus to perform a miracle, he was like, that's wrong with the disbelievers. They always want you to do some shit. They always want you to perform a miracle and shit. But I wouldn't do that. Like, and mind you, you see other people flexing like, damn, like the way they can flex and this and the third, boom, boom, boom. I know that's not my forte. That's not my shit. My shit is not to flex. Now, what I have been able to manage though, like what's easy for me to get, if I just like it ain't where I want it to do this and that right now. But if I was to take the time and this and that, boom, 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 I could flex abs crazy. Arms ain't the fucking shit. I flex. Abs go crazy. But I ain't in the flexing space right now. I ain't in the flexing space. Now I have old videos and pictures though. I got old videos and pictures though, where I can. So that's one of my joints now. Nah, told you. My younger self could do that. Me right now, that's not the space to do that, right? Me right now is working on my vernacular, my speech, and how I present myself in my art. That's what I need to work on now. It's the fashion. And so the most curious thing for me is, who was I in a past life? And the reason I say this is, they talk about, I'm not sure how to say his name, but I'll spell it. IMHOTEP. Thank you, thank you, thank you. IMHOTEP. 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 Whatever. However you say it. They say he was one of the first multi-geniuses. And just think about being skilled in so many different areas in so many ways. And so for me, I'm skilled, like teaching was one of the things I focused on for a while. Teaching math. Art was one that I put on the back burner. But when I sit there and think about some shit, right? When I was young, what the fuck happened? We used to do little certain shit, like either make stencils and spray paint on clothes and shit, right? That was like, customizing clothes was a big thing back in the day. Like back in the day, depending on where you at, they call them something different. The Nike Air Force Ones, we know them now, you know, that black Air Force energy. If you got black Air Forces on, you know what I'm saying? Or every year people have Air Forces. Like, if you didn't know what shoe to get, if you didn't want to get joked and you just want to be this and the third, just make sure you got some Air Forces. All black, all white, you're good to go. But we got to a point, they got all the different colorways. We got to a point where it used to be a legit store. It was called Seven Brothers. Not 7-Eleven, it was called Seven Brothers. This is an Indian store. And they would sell the Air Force Ones in all types of crazy colors and designs. Like, you can get the Captain Crunch Air Force Ones. You could get the Tony the Tiger Air Force Ones. Bapes too. Now with the customization now, you see a lot of art. You still see certain independent artists able to do the same thing. And so, but when I was younger, we used to play with that a lot too. We used to get it like a stencil or something, spray paint on the clothes, woo. Then I remember this dude, his name was Carnell. Carnell looked at me and was like, yo, bro, you should wear a cardigan. Now, Carnell was on the fashion shit. Carnell actually has his own, he actually has a shop that back in VA. He actually has a shop now. And he still does the fashion and shit. So it's awesome to see that, right? It's awesome to see that. But I remember Carnell looked at me and was like, yo, you should wear a cardigan. I didn't know what the fuck a cardigan was. And it's not that it's embarrassing, but it's like, you gotta learn, right? He's like, yo, you should wear a cardigan, bro. So I had got on that wave. Now, when I got my first job, it's like, you know, when you finally get the money, it's like, you know, I be wanting to dress this way or that way. And then when you finally get the money, you can dress that way. So I had got a whole bunch of cardigans, you know what I'm saying? I started wearing the cardigans a lot. Now, 10th grade, this is 10th grade year. If you knew me in high school, I remember the way I was dressing. Like, I wouldn't put this shit on now. But people usually look like, yo, he's ahead of his fucking time. I would wear a dress shirt and a vest, jeans, and shoes. Like, so one of my outfits, I had this, there was a, it wasn't silk, it was all polyester, but we thought we was gonna call it silk. It was a purple, oh my God. Bro, I had a purple polyester shirt. I wear a black vest, some black Levi's, and I wear this shit untucked. And then I had these Hirachis, the '08 Hirachis. Now those is one of my favorite pair of shoes. I don't think I have them anymore. If I do, nah. I held on to them for a really long time. I just gave them up this last year, and I was trying to. At one point, I would have gave a reimburse, like a shoe person who refurbishes shoes. I would have gave them the shoe to refurbish. I really like them shoes. Them shits was purple, black, and mind you, the shit came up here. It was mostly black, but then they had this one little design back here, and it was like different colors or whatever. Almost as if you just picture that, like a whole bunch of lines and shit. The lines was different colors, but the shoe was black. It was mainly black and purple, mainly black. Then the next dominant color was purple, but then that back part, you gotta look at her '08 Hirachis, and you'll see the shit I'm talking about. Now, but bro, I was just ahead of my time with that shit. Now, outside of that, oh, but the reason I kind of say this shit was I've always been able to dress, bro. So that's why the fashion shit is boom. And people used to come at me for my fashion, like how I'm dressing and whatnot. Then it was art. Now drawing, I've been drawing since I was like, I've been drawing before 7, but at the age of 7, I really started taking the drawing heavy. So that was the art. Now the thing about English though is, I would have never thought myself to have published 7 books. Like if there was a subject I loved, it was math. If there was a subject I hated, it was English. The next most hated subject for me was history. And the craziest parts of it is, like now, it's not that I'm a fan of history, but I'm very interested in the first people type of thing. And I like seeing the history of this, how did this go, you know what I'm saying? Just the history of stuff, the story of mankind. Very interested in that now. And I really did not like English. But the thing was about English was I was in honors English 10th grade. Then I took advanced placement English in 11th grade. I was like on strike with this class. In history. Nah, my AP history, 10th grade was my first AP history class. Now I took AP history in 11th grade, and I may have took AP history in 12th grade. With English, I took the honors in 10th, AP in 11th, but I took regular English in 12th. Now, here's things though. What I didn't like in my 11th grade AP English class, this is how this thing kind of went, bro. We'll come in, first parts of class, just write. He'll have a prompt and say, just write. Respond. Then we would talk. We spent so much of that class just reading. Not me. We barely read. We barely read in this class. We spent most of our time writing or talking. And the talking, I'm like, yo, why are we just sitting in this circle, just talking? And what's crazy now is that's something that I want to do. That's Cigar Talk. That's the podcast. Let's sit down, come together around a fire, and talk. Now, yeah, this goes into the highlight reel just because this is the first time doing this. This is a new cigar pipe. This is the first cigar I'm smoking with the new cigar pipe. Now, what I will say is, why do I like this torpedo shape now? Why am I liking it? Because it can just fit into the cigar pipe. When I was watching that Joe Rogan podcast, he took a break to use the bathroom. Let's have a bathroom break. Welcome back to the Graffiti Jungle. So, we spent a lot of time talking and writing. Let me just turn this on. Now, what I liked about my 12th grade English class that I didn't get in my 11th grade English class, my advanced placement class. So I had a teacher, her name was Miss Street. Miss Street broke it down as far as like rules to follow in English. Rules to follow in English. And I just thought this was wild that the first time I understand when to use, like, she really broke down the sentences and the sentence structure. Baby, come on. See, that's my thing. Like, just we'll step on whatever, put it, like, no regard for what you're stepping on. Miss Street broke it down and made us do this for practicality, real life purposes of how you're gonna use all of this shit. Miss Street would break it down like this is how you compose an email. The greeting, the body, how much you need to space it down before you put your signature, what should go in the signature, how that should be set up. She would break that down, and the reason we had to do that, she then made us use it. She made us say, you need to email a company. You need to have a back and forth correspondence with the company, setting up the email, and you need to print the email log off, and you know what I'm saying? You had to submit that. You had to make a whole community project. Whether you got approval or not, and a third boom boom, you had to go out and actually do this. And when she broke down the sentence structures, like for instance, putting together two independent clauses. And so, see, another thing about when I was teaching, I remember one of my students said, man, and this is in high school, they said, if I could just have you for all my subjects, you know what I'm saying? They would. And that's one of the things with school and elementary. They kind of started off in elementary too, just a little bit. Like in like maybe like fourth or fifth grade, or even I'm saying, yeah, they would say you got this teacher for English and you got this teacher for such and such. But the reason they kind of do all of that though is you will see not all teachers are comfortable with every subject. Which is one of the reasons why if you got a teacher who's not comfortable with math, teaching math, that teacher is going to subtly project their math insecurities onto their pupils, their students. And you'll see that fear that got projected from this teacher onto their student and it manifests later, and the student like is not going to be comfortable with math because they didn't have a strong math teacher. I need something to eat. I had oatmeal. I had 3 energy drinks. I don't know how. Why? Back to Miss Street. Miss Street will break this joint down. If you're gonna put two independent clauses together, there needs to be a comma and then a conjunction. The conjunctions, she had this acronym, or she told us this acronym called fanboys. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Those are the conjunction words that you're going to put in between two independent clauses, and based on the two independent clauses and their relationship to each other. So, for example, contradiction between two, you use but. I wanted to eat, but I didn't have any food. Continuation of a thought, like that piggyback. I bought clothes and I bought cigars. So, what I loved about her class was the fact that she finally broke, like, so in the AP English class, he just made it right. And then come at us and say, oh, this is, then edit whatever we just wrote. And I'm like, well, if we had the rules or we knew how to this and the third, you wouldn't be marking my paper up so much. But he focused on the expression and the thought. And she focused on the presentation of it. Because they talk about that, like, if there's no if the punctuation isn't right, how does that change the message? And so people didn't know when to use a comma. They thought, and so a lot of times, even when reading, people thought a comma meant to pause, and that's not what it means to do. And so people will write, and then put a comma. Like you're supposed to pause, like da da da, comma. When to use the period, why to use the period. Because they talk about run-on sentences, run-on sentences. So that's what I liked about her class. And now, what I like is the conversation. Even in grad school, a lot of our grad school, a lot of the course was conversation, dialogue, discourse. And we would talk about so many things, but I'm like, yo, I need practical application for when I go into the classroom. We can talk about this and the third, but when I go into the class, this is what's happening. So, and that's why there's always my my grad school, they focus on lesson planning. They focus on the paperwork. But how does that translate to what actually happens in the class? And how effective you can get this plan to happen in class? When you got a student who doesn't get enough attention at home, so they need attention in school, so they're gonna behave a certain way. But then there's this book called Teach Like a Champion. That was a good book for practicality. And so I've always had to be in front of people. Then there came a point in time where I had to lead people. That was me being a teacher. But even when I was teaching, it's like, what you wearing? What you got on? That's something that they cared about. What are you wearing? Even when I joined the frat, I came in, I was pole mark. If you don't know what pole mark means, that basically means I was the chapter president. I remember when we was going through the whole thing, dude looked at me and said, man, you have to finish. You have to cross, bro. Because it was like, we got this thing called player position. And you gonna need people who gonna be out here, like there's a face. Boom. There's a face of the jank. And then there's people who do the work behind the scenes. And I was that correlation. Senior class king. So I'm in those meetings, representing. Gotta go to the chapter. Gotta hold the chapter meetings here, and gotta go to the alumni chapter meetings. business, I have to be there. And got a board. This person focused on the money. This person focused on community events. This person focused on public relations. This person focused on, you know what I'm saying? Got a board. But push come to shove, as president, you do that shit. And then you kind of realize, or you may or may not, there's a way that business meetings should be ran and conducted. And I think they say what to read is Robert's rules of order or something like that. So, but it just breaks down to how a business meeting should be conducted. Now, I go through all of that. Then I think I mentioned I talked about some of this before, but then I eventually, was tutoring, and I told you that helped me build my interpersonal skills. But then we had this thing called Shimmy Like a Noob. I had to, you know what I'm saying? I got a group that I have to manage, right? Because I go straight from there. This is my senior year. I go straight from there, and I started going into a teacher setting, and now you got a classroom to manage. So, and what I try to do now is I try to look at, again, my life work. I'm picking up from another past life. I'm picking up. I'm putting all, how do I accumulate all this? I put all this together with the fashion. Because now they say with your Saturn's return, happens somewhere between the ages, the last 4 years of my life, right? That's that first time your soul comes back in contact with your body, and you start getting those lessons of like, where now what are you gonna do? And I remember I looked back, I'm like, well, what the fuck happened around my 27th birthday? And when I turned 27. Like, so these past 4 years, what the fuck have I done, right? And COVID hit. I started painting on jeans. It was like consistent too. I had consistent jean jacket orders. I also started doing pop-up shops. And I remember the boy looked at me in the pop-up joint. Now, I liked his shit for the ideas behind his art. Like, he would put Bugs Bunny High or Bugs Bunny fucking Lola. You know what I'm saying? I like the concepts. But he used to play with this shit. And he looked at me and he knew how I was kind of feeling about how things had went. But he looked at me and said, bro, I be playing with this shit, but you actually nice at this, bro. Don't take this one little event up how I went this and the third. You nice at this. You gotta stick with it. And then I had my first pop-up. Like, I was doing pop-ups, and I wasn't consistent doing pop-ups, but I've been doing pop-ups, I would say, like, every year since then, for the most part. And the most lucrative one was where I went to the mall. I got in the mall. Now I'm thinking, nah, that's some shit I could do that shit. I gotta see how the rates is looking. But I went to the mall. I did a pop-up at the mall. I was selling the bleach design sweaters and t-shirts. Any jackets that I had that had painted already, I had those posted. I had my old art, had all that shit. Bailey! Bailey! Okay, here she comes. You alright? I don't know what you got into, so. When your dog come back licking their lips, you like, oh my gosh. I ain't gonna say it. But if I had said, she knows she was supposed to be. You telling me 3:15. We good, we good, we good. By like 5, I need to be ready. I don't cut my hair. See how that thing go. Now, when I did this pop-up though, bro, so cool. What you love about, you know what I'm saying, what you call it, is those people who will just pop in to help you out. But Shorty, I had talked to her at one point, and she would pop out the blue, and she saw what I had going on, and she wanted to help. She stayed with me a whole day, and she helped me. She was fire. She helped me one day. My ex helped me a different day, and then a couple of my other friends, they daggone, um, they sat and held down the shop while I was there. That shit fire. They did it out the kindness of their heart, and they bought stuff. It was so dope. They don't even want to fall. We're done with this one. We're done with this one. That's how much we got it down to. It's concave. It's caving in. Convex means to poke out. That's why I always just keep thinking about the business, man. I keep thinking about the business. So now I'm in the space of, like, when I'm at these different establishments, like, I was at Red Lobster, I told you. I was at Red Lobster, I had to get my liquor license just to be able to sell liquor. I have liquor here. Then, now I'm at Burlington. Now, the thing about this, whatchamacallit, these interactions, like I told you, what kind of, like, caught my attention, basically, was the fact that he wants to start enforcing the dress code policy and the rules when I get here. It's what I have on. Now, each time he says something, I immediately got a compliment right after that. Like when I had my hair wrapped, he said something about something, boom, boom, boom. This is that he printed the whole dress code policy journal off. I immediately got a compliment on my hair wrap. Coming at me for my hats. I had a hat on every day since I've been here. So, the first time he said something, because when I had my shirt, and I had a Project Extinction shirt on, that had the rips and cuts in it, and I understood, you know what I'm saying? I understood that. But when he said something, I got a compliment from a customer. Now, what? Now I was watching some other videos talking about some selling stuff and putting stuff on the auction. Like I'll probably sell some of my books and whatnot. Well, an idea that came to me was I could raffle off my book, and like 20 people would do a slot, $5. You know what I'm saying? And people could, okay, $5. I'm gonna send a cash app in, boom. Those first 20 people, and then on live, I would do the the little wheel or whatever, and you could pick which book you want or whatever. But to simplify that, it's like I would just have the book myself right now. So I could order one of my books and then raffle it off, send somebody an autograph copy of the book. And I say I gotta order it because people have to see it. You know what I'm saying? What are we getting? What's up, auction? No. Again, like which one of my books is my favorite? Resume is different, bro. Well, if I have one book that's like my favorite right now, well, my seventh one is called Black Lamborghini, and I just that. Come here, man. My seventh one is called Black Lamborghini. That's where I have just a visual aesthetics. I'm trying to think. If I was gonna auction off one of my books, the ones I'm thinking I will auction off is either the second one, well, it's like I could do all three. I think I could just do all three. Right? The second one, the sixth one, and the seventh one. So that's the thing. We could do that, right? If I was gonna auction off my books, it's the second one, the sixth one, and the seventh one. Autograph copy of the books. So right now, I'm trying to think like how we can facilitate. Which one? If I was only auctioning off the second, the sixth, and the seventh, the ones I want to auction off. The sixth one was my first book in color. My seventh one has all like the nice pictures and you know what I'm saying. That's inspired me. I like this. I really like the seventh one because it has those things that I want, the manifestations and that I want. The seventh one, yeah, the seventh one, shit. All right. Because I'm trying to think. Well, if I only do one book, I'll do the seventh one. But I like the sixth one because it tells that backstory in its part journal. The second one is because it got the backstory, basically how one of the English part journal. So boom, that's the only one that's white. Only one that's all. The seventh one, and I think maybe the sixth and the seventh might be only offered in hard copy right now. I'm not sure, but the second one's only offered in hardcover. But that shit is. Yeah, I'm gonna look at it. I'll order those, send those up. So I'm gonna do that. If I had to choose one, the second, the sixth, and the seventh. So you see me. The sixth one is actually called Graffiti Jungel. That's my first book in color. So I might put a poll. I'll put a poll up. See what happens with the poll. And then oh. Definitely need you to go ahead and keep working out that fruit. If that's what you want. I don't know what you're looking for. I don't know what you eat. Okay. So we've had 2 bowls of tobacco and 1 cigar so far today. And trying to think. I got about another hour of whatchamacallit. So I want to go for another cigar at the back of. Running my business, man. Running my business. I'm really trying to get this car. If I do that car, bro, and I figure out I can do one day of whatchamacallit and make more than I would. And whatchamacallit, I would just straight ditching his turn. Getting the car. I gotta put something on my stomach, bro. Something on my stomach. Another thing that stuck out from that podcast, his last piece of how he ended the podcast, his advice was, he was too, what advice did you get to a young person? He said, dude was on the flight, and dude said, well, if you look over here, you'll see Ibiza. He paused. He said, have as much sex as you possibly can. This is advice to a young man coming up, right? And he said, the other guy said, whenever you see somebody, there's a little piece of God in everybody. So he said, when you talk to somebody, talk to that piece of God in them. And he clarified it by saying, make sure they see it in you first. In my street class, she told us this one thing. I gotta show you. It says Italy. It says Italy. Miss Street said she had this thing. Capiche? I have to look this up, but from what she told us in class, she would say capiche, and that means you understand. And the response is caputo. I understand. Capiche? Caputo. Now, we're working this job. The pluses is, when we're gonna work, we get that consistent stream. So it's like, all right, put my head down, get this money. So I was thinking about next thing was things that I could possibly potentially go ahead and try to invest in right now, right? So the last part of this is maybe thinking about an actual camera. Why I don't feel like getting a camera is because then I'm gonna have to edit on a computer. I have to edit and upload on the computer. Unless I find a camera. Well, see, now here's another thing. I have a GoPro. So, my GoPro is Bluetooth and it can just shoot to this and da da da. Do I care about that? I don't necessarily care about that. I'm able to put the content and visuals like this, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't need to get another camera. There's no reason that, like, I gotta talk myself out of it. Like, there's no reason to get another camera. There's no reason, like, there's absolutely no reason. Because if I really wanted to, I could just use a GoPro. But clearly, since I'm not using a GoPro, that means I really don't want to. Now, I did just get this, and I just turned the iPhone into a GoPro by getting this waterproof case. There's no reason, you know what I'm saying? But I was thinking about, again, we should be getting paid next week. Now, next week, next check, what do you want to do? Well, hopefully, if we can get this car, next check will be about getting another phone. Now, I get another phone, going to Boost Mobile, just getting a whole nother phone, just to keep up with and just to use the other phone, the whole service, and just for navigation. I have a phone so I can call, receive, and text and shit. And because you know sometimes you need that code that has to get text to your phone. So I get this whole phone, get the little Boost Mobile shit just for navigation and shit. You know what I'm saying? And be able to do Uber. I'll be able to do Uber. Now that's contingent upon getting a car. Get the car, then get the phone. You know what I'm saying? How do you transition from one place to the next and keep the shit going? And do the cigar talk outside the whip. You know what I'm saying? Still do the cigar talk all over, but not inside. Because inside, I keep the inside clean while I'm trying to pay it off. Now, what got me super hyped was how dude was just like, yo, you get a proof of this shit. It ain't nothing to take the wheels off of this car, put it on that one, and da 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 boom boom. Like, we got what you want. You know what I'm saying? Third place will come out. I gotta get certain shit first. I guess this other little paperwork first. So yeah, next check. Cause I really splurged on this one. Now the next one is just about getting a phone. But the phone is if we have a car. Now I also can sit here and think like, yeah. Now I have a balance with Progressive. If I pay that balance off, then you know what I'm saying. But next week we'll also have the new cigar pipe. I mean, we could potentially have the new cigar lighter next week too. That's the what I'm excited about. Alright, anything else? I might have moved a little bit. Let's turn this around. Trying to be in the shade. So on this cigar band, we're gonna put today's date, 5/23/24, and what else? 5/23/24 and new cigar pipe. That's what this symbolizes. Let me just go ahead and put it in the cigar wallet. Put it in the cigar wallet until I'm able to put it in the book. Oh, the other part. No. What is he kind of? He also mentions this in the about. He was like, that's what Jehovah was preaching about, being your own God. You know how Gandhi says, "Be the change you wish to see." He was like, in that moment, in those instances, be the God in that moment. I'm trying to figure out how I could cool down right now. I'm hot. I mean, it's a creek right here. I get to throw some water on. But I guess the last point of thing I want to talk about from that joint was now he's okay with it, right? He wants to have the conversation with Neil deGrasse Tyson, Elon Jeffers. He wants to have these conversations with these scientists or whatever, right? But the thing is, though, you challenge. Come on, babe. It's like this shit is clearly right here in your fucking face. She about to take that and knock shit over. The cigar rating for that. We'll give it a. It was a solid 7.5. I kind of want to push it to a 7.7, but there was no reason to. There was no complaints though either. I'm just gonna put solid. Damn, that don't look like solid. Solid, no complaints. I had no complaints about that cigar at all. And let's also write torpedo. Bro, I am ready to have my own business, man. Like when I tell you, the way this shit gonna start, bro, well, you already seen the start of this shit. You done seen it. It's about putting all this shit together. But I would, bro, you know how the mom and pop, like in Jersey, mom and pop shop at the bottom, but they live upstairs. Now, I was looking for a house last year. I was looking for a house. And we started looking for houses and shit. You can see that they just, you can have the shit built. You can just build your own shit. They'll send you the pieces. You can put the shit together. The minimalist house. Now, the one shit that was super fucking fire, so fucking dope. It had a 2-story shit. That shit was so fucking fire. Now, the only thing about that is I would need a plot of land. I would need a plot of fucking land. But if I get the car, there's these Jeep tents. You can have a whole tent on top of the Jeep. Now, but that allows me to just go on top of the Jeep and, you know what I'm saying, do my cigar time on top of the Jeep. That way I don't need the plot of land. I just run the business outside of the Jeep, doing Uber and shit. And, you know, you can definitely, you know what I'm saying, sell shit while you driving. Like, there's this one meme, and it was like, it was like, me, dot, 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 Uber driver, dot, 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 me, 5-star rating. Like, you don't gotta force conversation. But yeah, I started talking, this and that, cause I was even thinking of how I could put inside the whip, like somebody just sitting there, they can scan the QR code, watch the podcast, watch the music videos, while I had music videos just playing all day on the screen, and if they want to hear it, I could just turn the volume up, shit like that. Cause there's always gonna be some song that I want to hear for the most part. There's just gonna be songs that I want to hear. So I think it should be dope. It should be fire. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome to Gem Rock. I use that sound again. That was the only one that came to my head when I was at the Graffiti Jungel. I'm telling you, bro, as soon as I get the new whip, bro, taking the fucking doors off, and you gonna see, like, I just saw it already in my head, man. I already saw me putting it as, I'm trying to figure out, like, if it gonna say Graffiti Jungle. Yeah, it's gonna say Graffiti Jungle on the side, and putting the dinosaur right back up there. But this time the dinosaur is gonna be the Project Extinction chain. And like on the last G, I did the abstract jump of like a guy coming out of a parachute. But this time on the windows is gonna be, I'm gonna just use some actual paint marker windows. Put the asteroids on that shit. It's too fucking fire, bro. Put the asteroids on that shit, and then the dinosaur all over on the side of this shit. Then it's gonna say, it has to say Graffiti Jungle, Project Extinction. Well, I could put Extinction, you know what I'm saying? Put Extinction and then Graffiti Jungle. And I'm gonna make this shit, I'm gonna just paint this shit up there. Cause sometimes I'm in the space of, this shit that gotta look good. When I was doing it on the whatchamacallit, I was just playing with this shit, bro. And letting everybody else do it. There was only one door that I touched. But I was letting everybody else come with this shit. Now I was just like, nah, I'm gonna do it myself, bro. So like if you look at my work shirt, my long sleeve with the no collar, that button up, my work shirt. Like I could have put the Project Extinction, I could have put the whatchamacallit Project Extinction. I could have put this reversal design on it. I said, nah, I ain't in. Like this one of my favorite shirts. I ain't gonna mess this up like that. And I mess it up. It's just I'm gonna make sure this shit got the original design on it in color. I made sure the fire was up there on the asteroids, boom, boom, like that. So same thing with the car. Like I'm gonna make sure I paint this shit how it needs to look. I guess I can start cutting my hair. Start cutting Right. I already got the message talking about 20%. So this will be my first live. Phone charging. Welcome to the barbershop. Now the dude was a whole fucking barber. The other dude I met the other day, I get his business card. He was a barber and a comedian. And I'm sitting here trying to give him style advice. I'm like, yeah. Watch the video yesterday. Cordless clippers. It's the Andis cordless clippers. It's the Master cordless. Now, I used to be scared. Here we go. Always got a hat on. You see why I got the hat on, bro? I don't do shit to my hair. Bro. I don't take care of it. I should, but I really don't. Got that 5 head. I'm gonna do a haircut. Welcome to the barbershop. Give everybody a fucking baldy. Give everybody a fucking baldy, bro. Okay. This is shit I was afraid to do. Like on live against. I was about to cut the live off and not do this on live. But another thing, like some of those things like you think that you would never do, you'd be scared to do. Cutting my hair was one of them. Going bald was one of them. When you cut yourself bald, oh shit. If this shit go out, that shit is so fucking embarrassing. I should have charged this shit. You're supposed to do slow. Like, you're not supposed to just go all the way back. You're supposed to just, like, ease that shit. Now, because I don't do shit to my hair, I don't put shit in it or nothing, I be having dandruff. The other part I like about the body, you don't gotta think about like, for instance, they talk about the boosie fade. There's different gradients and how much and how high the hair is. But with the body, all the hair the same fucking length. So I don't gotta think about this shit. I don't even gotta look at it. You can feel it. You know what I mean? You can fucking feel it. Up. Little Bill. Caillou. No, I'm gonna throw some water on my hair to see what the fuck shit looking like. I told you it's gonna be a lot of dandruff. It's gonna be a lot of dandruff because I don't put shit in my hair. Now, just for conversational purposes, they used to say that's why black people don't get lice because they put so much cosmetics and shit in their hair and oils and all this other stuff. Now I could, especially now that once I cut this shit, I could find some oils and just try to moisturize my scalp. Now I'm gonna do the back. But again, like I said, you don't really gotta look at it because you can kind of tell like everything's just be going. Oh, so if you look at this right, this supposed to tell how close or how close of a cut you're gonna get. And they talk about how this part right here either being open or closed. But if you just keep this shit at one part, everything will be the same fucking levels. Think about cutting grass. Or matter of fact, you might be able to relate to a vacuum. On a vacuum cleaner, like certain vacuum cleaners have a level that you put it at, and that's how, like, if you got a vacuum tile, if you got a vacuum a wood floor, if you got a vacuum carpet, how high the carpet is, like some of them have a function for that. So you could do something like that. But just think about that. Like it's always just gonna be at that same length, so it does not matter. So that's why I kind of don't have to even look at. You just gotta make sure you touch everything. And as long as you hit every part, it should all be the same length. So, what I will do is just go to the creek, put some water on my head, and then I'm gonna look back at, I don't know what you wanna call it. Now, I know for a fact it's not all even, because I can feel it, but that's why I go, which I just touch it up in a little bit. And where the glasses go? Now, if you've been watching the fits for the Burlington game, I'm about to just be on some. I'm wearing the same shit every fucking day. I do not give a fuck. I'm gonna wear this black shirt, black pants, and these boots every fucking day. So, I feel like it's really close. Like everything is pretty much even. I just feel like I got actually more hair on the top. And I feel like there's this one part at the bottom and the back that just feels really thin, like ain't no hair there, in comparison to the other parts. The other parts feel like it's just a little bit of here and there, but which one I feel like this part feel like it got, like you can kind of see it too, like this hair there a little bit. But that was the first live haircut. That was the first live haircut. I'm gonna have to test that shit the fuck up. Now, Josh, how do we celebrate that? With a cigar or tobacco? Aye. Now we need new visuals. Now we need new visuals, baby. new video. So with the body, do I want cigar or tobacco? This. Fuck it, we do both. I can't choose. Hey, the other poem. I'm in my Stefan era. Too wavy. I might take a cruise on you bitches. Too lazy, too hazy. I'm gonna light my cigar on you bitches. I got options. I can't choose none of you bitches. I play chess in real life. That's why I don't mind losing none of you bitches. Cause if I gotta make a sacrifice, either me or you, I'm always choose me over you. So we're gonna do both. We're gonna do both. Load the fuck up. Now this is Heather. That's the name for this flavor. This flavor is Heather. New haircut, who this? Gotta get this shit set up right now. So pipe loaded up, cigars cut. I guess the only thing I'm trying to show off is the tank still, and but the screen done went so freaking dark. See, that's the thing. Even if I'm on this side, yo, this screen is too dark to be like that right now, man.